And I think you got it bang on. I mean, there seems to be no positive trigger at all. Even if you look to buy at lower levels, I mean, for this market to move up higher, there are no concrete positive triggers. So is that the big worry now?
That's the biggest worry right now, because I think the only positive trigger, hopefully, could be monsoons, which should be, possibly around July end, August beginning. I think that's the time possibly you'll know whether monsoon is normal or whether it's a failure. But till then, it is, I think this will be one worry which is there. As far as the macro numbers are concerned, there's nothing much to look forward to. Earnings have been pathetic. I mean, what else do you look forward to?
Amrish, let me get you on this one. I was hearing you out maybe a few months ago when you were on the morning show, and in fact you were quite positive in terms of a couple of corporate developments that took place in terms of Crompton. Now today as well, the mid-cap space was selling off, but Crompton was holding steady. What's your take on the stock at around 164 rupees?
I think from here there is not much of a downside, because if you compare with the other stocks in the similar, like in the same sector, Crompton hasn't really performed. And in fact, it had come down from those levels of 200, 210 when that announcement had come to levels of this 164, 165. So I really don't see much of a downside from here. But along with the market, yes, it can crack in the 5 or 10 rupees. But do I expect it to go back to 120, 125? Surely not.
Okay. Sudarshan, any fresh shorting ideas that you've observed in the market that one could, initiate and trade tomorrow on individual stocks?
See, markets are almost at the point where they'll either break down or give us a relief rally. So that concept, that sense should be available tomorrow also. We could bounce 50, 100 points from here, even 200 points. So with that caveat, I think the private sector banks, we've talked about how they could actually lead a rally. That may be so, but they could also lead a decline. They're just cracking down. So almost all the private sector banks are short-selling ideas. And unfortunately, so is the FMCG pack. It is Lever, which has been my favorite, ITC. They're all on verge of trading range breakdowns. I think they'll all follow the Nifty, or the Nifty will follow them.
All right, then that's the take coming in on the frontliners. But I think we have Devang still with us. Devang, let me get your view on a couple of outperformers. You know, our ticker team is flashing for us that the markets now, the Nifty is 11% off the highs. But I'll tell you a few stocks, if you just compare it with that early March, something like a UPL, Britannia, Voltas, all of them are nearly around 20% from those levels, in spite of the fact that the Nifty is down more than 10%. Would you nibble into all these? Because all of them are seeing selling pressure. They're down 2%, 3% in today's trading session. The Nifty on the whole is weak. So would you be looking at some of these stocks that have really done very, very well, even though the frontliners are cracking?
I think that there are two answers to this, to talk about the stocks like UPL or Britannia, which generally had come up with good set of numbers. So people who like playing strength or are maybe medium-term traders, something like this stocks which gives them a good enough strength as well as good enough sort of numbers and earnings visibility are good bets to buy. It would maybe fall less if the market falls from here on. And for value investors, as we were discussing, this is in fact a golden opportunity where 100, 200 points here or there, there can be good chance to buy good stocks at lower valuations. So I think, as I said, the shopping list should be ready to buy stocks which have cracked despite of good earnings. You would not get such opportunities time and again.
Okay, so let me try and identify some of those stocks, Devang, slicing through sectors between ICICI Bank, Tata Motors and SBI. All three stocks have lost about 15 to 20% this year. Anything that you would advise investors to buy at this point?
I think yes, I think Tata Motors and ICICI Bank, to me both, though with a contra approach, seems to be better picks than SBI, because we know that a couple of quarters, and if the monsoon fails, then probably private sector, public sector banks rather would suffer more. So something like a Tata Motors, which has a global exposure, and normally the JLR numbers wouldn't disappoint, as well as the margins would tend to improve with the launch of new variants and the new models. We feel JLR is Tata Motors is better placed than any other auto stock on a valuation front also, and something like an ICICI Bank, which probably has given a better guidance going forward, and the stock has seen enough correction, seeing the last 2 quarter results, would again be a good candidate to buy in a staggered manner.
All right, Devang, point taken, but that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much, Amrish. Thanks, Devang. Thanks, Sudarshan, for joining.